the other day, Nintendo did just about the coolest thing by giving us unreleased games. Like, this never happens. We know they have them because they've had break-ins before and people have found a whole bunch of prototypes in unreleased games. But this is officially, they officially have distributed 2 cancelled Virtual Boy games. Things we never thought would see the light of day, but you can play them right now on Nintendo Classics Virtual Boy. Brandon, how do you feel about that?
It's just cool. The Virtual Boy library has increased by a large enough percentage to be
like 15%.
Yeah, it's really funny. But yeah, I gave both of these a try, and I don't know, it's like peering into ancient history.
They were made by like really prominent Nintendo developers. It's just the F-Zero team making Zero Races. It's a new F-Zero to us, and Intelligent Systems doing D-Hopper. That's like the Fire Emblem and Paper Mario guys. It's just these missing games from these really talented developers. I don't know which one to start with, because obviously Zero Races I think is more historically important, but Dragon Hopper is the better game. So which one do we go to first?
I say we start with Zero Racers first, because I have more to say about Dragon Hopper.
Sure. I've played a lot of Zero Races, actually, because I've been trying to 100% it, because you can finish it in the hardest difficulty, and when you do that, you get another difficulty, and then when you finish the master difficulty, for every Grand Prix, apparently you get some unlocked vehicles. I'm on like the last master Grand Prix, so I'm going to do that soon. But my first impressions was, I can kind of see why this was cancelled, but then the more I played it, I actually got quite into Zero Races. It's got, I think the core problem with this one is everything looks the exact same, which is not an issue with Dragon Hopper. Dragon Hopper manages to find some really distinct settings, but in this one you are just in like a wireframe grid the entire time.
Yeah, I found myself fighting the visuals more than like the actual racing. I also found myself fighting with the controls a little bit too. Because it's all digital input, like there's no analog. And, making some of those turns was a little hard at first. I started to get used to it. The bigger problem I had is when it had you go up and down. Was that a struggle for you at all?
You get used to it, but yes, it is a struggle. Because when you go up and down, the screen moves, but your controls are still kind of fixed. So you have to sort of get used to exactly when it is you're meant to stop and start. And I definitely struggled a lot with that. When it comes to the vehicle handling, I struggled to begin with the Blue Falcon. But I switched to the Goose. And it's interesting, too, they've gotten rid of one of the vehicles. The Golden Fox isn't here. It's instead called Origami, not Origami. And it's like a paper airplane, and it kind of feels like one. But the Goose I really liked because it starts off really slow. So you begin, and like all the other vehicles just race ahead without you. But as you hit full speed, you get really fast, and your handling is like maxed out. So if you're struggling with the Falcon, I would suggest trying Goose. But don't feel dismay when you get left behind, because you will catch up.
Okay, it's good to know.
The first couple of courses are kind of basic, because it's just turn the corners. And it's kind of cool being able to move up and down when it's just a fixed perspective, because you can avoid vehicles coming in. You can go out of your way to get the boost powers, which aren't done per lap. You just pick 3 up whenever you want to. So you have to sort of think about when you want to use your boost, but also when you want to pick them up. If you pick up one while you've got 3, it's just going to get rid of it. So you always have to keep in mind when you're going to boost and when you're going to pick them up. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, the boosts last a long time, too, and there's enough of them on the course you can kind of chain them together. Unless you're me and you keep crashing into walls, but I can see where the skill comes into play there. This is such a wild take on F-Zero. It's in 3D, but they're really taking advantage of, that vertical space in the race. I feel like it's almost a shame that this game got made for the Virtual Boy and not something else.
Yeah, I mean, just added presentation would have helped a lot, and I think they probably could have done more with the visuals. We've seen a lot of Virtual Boy games that... I guess it's kind of similar to Red Alarm, right? Where it's ambitious, it is 3D, and the stereoscopic 3D depth does help a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you're watching a 2D screen, you wouldn't always be able to tell what is a wall and what isn't, whereas you actually can in the headset. And what's really helpful as well is there's new filters for Virtual Boy on NSO. And have you tried the Super Game Boy filter?
I didn't mess around with the filters, actually.
I feel like it changes a lot because it shades things
Okay.
to a much better degree. And they've added like yellow and blue and all that, and they're nicer than red. But Super Game Boy is a game changer. There's also like green and grayscale Game Boy, which they look good too. But yeah, Super Game Boy just adds a lot of detail and shading in there.
I'll have to give that a go. Yeah, I can only spend a little bit of time in the Virtual Boy headset before like I feel fatigued. So maybe that will help. Because I'd love to finish game like Wario.
I'm not sure we've really discussed Virtual Boy much on the channel before. I know we have with the actual headset, but not with the NSO one. Compared to a real Virtual Boy, there's like a pixel grid that you see in the NSO headset. It's like nowhere near the quality of a real Virtual Boy. But with these releases, we also have the means to play these on a real Virtual Boy, which is pretty dang neat. If you've got like a flash card out there. So yeah, it's just nice. You can put it in like the pristine quality if you've got the means to. But yeah, I have been enjoying Zero Races. It's definitely not peak F-Zero, but it's so nice to have just this missing link in the series history. The only thing we don't have now is the second dose of Satellaview tracks in 1999.
It's so wild to me that we're quickly approaching having like F-Zero completion available on Switch. Outside of that, and then like a version of AX available.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all we're missing.
Yeah. We just need Satellaview Online and Nintendo Arcade Classics, which it could happen someday, maybe.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, they've done a few, haven't they?
In the NES era, they did, yeah, but none of the 3D stuff.
Well, get on it, Arcade Archives.
Get on it! So easy! But I have been enjoying Zero Races a bunch. There isn't much music other than the title screen either, so it's definitely, like, once you're in there, it's just you and the wireframes.
And car noises.
And car noises, yeah. I like the dynamic of using both D-pads as well. Obviously, we haven't got a Virtual Boy controller, we're just using a traditional one.
Mm-hmm.
But having, like, the tilt being on what would be the right D-pad, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because not only can you tilt left and right, you can go up and down as well. So you get a lot of, like, lean into your turns. The mechanics to be good are there, and I think the game is good, but it is kind of like, it's what you'd expect. It's a Virtual Boy F-Zero pushing the boundaries of the hardware, and it can't really get away with much more than that.
I mean, the game being difficult to master is not anything new for F-Zero, so I think that falls right in line with what you should expect.
Yeah. But shall we go on to D-Hopper?
Yeah, this game kicks ass.
It does. This might be, I don't know if it's like but it's up there with the best Virtual Boy games. Like Jack Bros and this, they're like the peak.
I had no idea what to expect coming into this game. But like you're playing the game from a top-down perspective, and you play as this little dragon guy, and you are quite literally hopping up towards the screen and ascending. And, like, they built that into the story, too. Like, he's down underground, and he has to get up to the heavens. And I love that when you idle for too long, he just, like, looks up at the screen at you. This game feels like it was made for the hardware in a way that most of the other games on Virtual Boy don't. Like, you're jumping up towards the screen, and you're using that depth to know when you're above the platforms that you're jumping on. And because of that, like, when you're up really high, the ground is so far out in the distance, you really get this grand scope of how high up you are. And the controls feel great. Like, your Doran has such a high jump, and you can even flap your wings a little bit to get a little extra air. He feels incredible to control. This game shouldn't exist. But
yeah,
it does.
I've always said on 3DS, my favorite example of stereoscopic 3D is in A Link Between Worlds. There's this point in Death Mountain where you're on a platform.
The Tower of Hera, I think.
Yeah, and there's like layers of platforms under you, and you've got to like fall onto them. It's easier with 3D depth. This is a game that's like, the entire game is that. Like, my favorite example of 3D from that one instance, there's a whole game about it. Apart from instead of, going down, you're going up. And I don't think this would really work without 3D either. It's so integral
No.
to perspective and perception, and it feels really good. Yeah, it's gorgeous too. There's points that you start off in like this sort of like dungeon kind of area, and then the next one's like a grassland. And even though it's like monochrome, you can still tell. And there's a lot of cool details in the tile sets, and the game keeps getting more and more interesting. Because you start off where it's just like, yeah, you're ascending, you're finding a key to open the door. It's good. But then as you keep going, there's like power-ups, like permanent transformations you can turn into. One of them's like getting heavier. So you get like a bounce move that just brings you like plunging to the ground. Another one where you turn into a dragon that breathes ice, and the ice you can use to cross water by making like ice panels on the water, make your own bridge. It's really imaginative. Like you would think that this is just, that they're just putting whatever they can to a Virtual Boy game, but I think Intelligent Systems were putting their all into this one. It's gorgeous. It sounds great. The music's really good. There's great bosses. It's really imaginative. One of the best 3D effects, not only on the Virtual Boy, but I think ever in terms of like incorporating it into the game design. Yeah, this one is just so good.
There is a level of polish in this game that feels like it does not come from the era.
Yeah,
like
I feel that.
This feels like a game that could have come out on the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even like a level of depth there that is not evocative of the era, at least to me. Like, you have your health system, but you also have magic, and you can expand the amount of magic you can use by like spending medallions that you find in the levels. There's like a completionist mindset almost. Yeah, this game, it doesn't feel like it belongs in the era. It feels fresh and new, and I'm so glad that it's here.
Yeah, this is one that we never really saw before either. Like 3 screenshots of this game existed, but we never had footage. So just jumping from it being this lost entity to being a fully playable game from beginning to end, that's just like the coolest outcome. Yeah, I don't think this would have changed anything in the Virtual Boy's outcome. Like D-Hopper wouldn't have made it a success.
No.
But it's a great example of how Virtual Boy can be good. And there's a number of great games on Virtual Boy that are good. Whether it is D-Hopper or Jack Brothers or Mario Clash or Wario Land. There's stuff that is worth your time here. And this is absolutely at that top. Like it's easily in like S tier for Virtual Boy.
Yeah, to me, this is the Virtual Boy killer app. I would say it's worth just getting the cardboard headset just so you can try this one. It's really dang good. I haven't finished it yet, but I want to play the entire thing. Like, that's how much I was enjoying it. Like, I'm willing to get through the kind of the headache of the setup to see the game to the end. That's how good it is.
It sucks that there's no like 2D mode for Virtual Boy, because I think a lot of games would be perfectly fine. But this is one where like the 2D mode would really only be for like capture, because I don't think you can play the game like that. I think you need to be able to fully see where you are, because like telling where those platforms are it's tricky unless you can fully perceive the depth there, and it's such a huge point of that game. Yeah. It's also nice having like the control scheme. It's a bit funky where like the jumps on the R button, but then more core actions are on like A and B. So like attack is on A. And like the standard form, he's quick, but he doesn't really attack much. But later ones, they get a lot more in there. So it was quite daring for its era to be able to like mix up like where jump is, for instance. But yeah, there's so much depth there. Like there's elements of it that remind me of much later games like A Link Between Worlds and Cameo and I don't know, a whole bunch of others. But they were doing this in 1996, which is crazy. And yeah, I think I'm just thankful that these games happen. Like Zero Races is a cool part of history. It's a fun game, but Dragon Hopper is just legitimately great. And the fact that we got it is insane.
Yeah, this is incredible for preservation to have these available here. It's not the first time Nintendo's released canceled games before. Like we got Star Fox 2 on the SNES Mini, and then eventually over on NSO. I want to see this keep happening. I don't know how much is left out there. I'm sure there's quite a bit, but I'd love for this to kind of become the norm for Nintendo.
Satellaview's kind of the big hurdle where there's lots of stuff, but none of it's in English. So if they were to, I would take just the Super Famicom Satellaview. Like, I'll take it in Japanese, but there's plenty of games that I think would be better off translated, because they have like a Zelda 1 remake and Link to the Past sequel, Famicom Detective Club 3, which has never gone anywhere else. What else have they done? Excite Bike with Mario characters. There's Fire Emblem. There's a lot of Satellaview exclusives out there that have just never been re-released. And an online platform is kind of the perfect place to replicate Satellaview. So maybe, but I think there'd be a lot of work needed.
I mean, some of those games have like a live element too, don't they? Like with narration and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of fake a lot of that. I don't care like how true to the experience it is. I'd like to see them just be available.
But anyway, those are the 2 new Virtual Boy games. The sentence I don't think we ever thought we'd say. But Nintendo have done 2 other first-party games in 2026, Zero Racers and D-Hopper. And they're good. They're definitely worth your time. So give them a shot if you can. You can play it in 2D if you want to, just by not wearing a headset and looking into a very small circle, but it's not recommended. But you can.
No.
But that's it for now. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.